I'm Chad. You're watching Squarebody Stuff. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We're going to be working on a little squeaky again. I've got some stuff I want to play around with. We might do some little science. It's going to be kind of interesting. I'm kind of excited about this. So what we're going to be doing in this video is one of the next things I need to do to squeaky is I want to set up a crankcase evacuation system. It consists of this stuff right here. We'll go over that here in a little bit. Most of you old school drag racers know what that's about. Circle track guys use them, truck pulls. It's a pretty common setup, and I'll explain exactly how it works. And that's one of the things we're going to be doing. That's what that guy's for, is we're going to be just doing some scientific testing on how much vacuum it does draw, different types of fittings, and we're just going to try a few different things. But before we get into that, I've got a couple boxes or a couple packages on my workbench that I'd like to open up for you guys. The tube, well, they're both from the same guy, Sean Settles from Classic Truck Nationals. Go check him out on Facebook. I'm not sure if he's got a YouTube channel or not. I don't think he does, but he might. But he puts on one heck of a show. He is one guy that's in a lot of the truck show scene down in Texas. We're going to be going to the Classic Truck Nationals 2024 in Gainesville, Texas. I think it's in August. Yeah, it's in August. I've already got my vacation time set up for it. So we're going to be making a trip down there with old Squeaky and just go hang out in Texas for the weekend. I also need to bring up that in April, I think it's April 27th, Ryan Wing from Streetcar Chronicles and myself, there's going to be some others that's helping out. We're trying to put on, and it's mainly Ryan. Ryan's doing most of the leg work and all that stuff. I'm trying to help out however I can. But we're going to be putting on what will hopefully be the first of many truck-only drag racing events. The event's called the Tailgate Throwdown. Go check it out on Facebook. We've got a Facebook group page. There's an event page. We've got a lot of stuff going on there, so go check that out. If you're interested in going, there's several different classes. I think I'm going to do another video on maybe just that. But there's going to be street class, mini trucks, stick shift class, 28-10-5, small tire class, and an outlaw. Yeah, 5 classes. Try to make enough classes for everybody. Whatever you've got, whether you've got a daily driver like Cream Puff, or if you've got a truck like Squeaky that's maybe not fast, but just fun, take it to the drag strip. There should be a place for about everybody. And we're also looking for sponsors, so anybody out there that might want to sponsor the Tailgate Throwdown, either hit me up or Ryan Wing from Streetcar Chronicles. I know it's a little late in the game. We're still trying to get flyers going. We have no idea what we're doing, but we're gonna have fun doing it. So hopefully put on a good show. But looking for sponsors, looking for someone that might be interested in helping out with the truck show side of things next year. I got a hold of Sean Settles. Now Sean's calendar is pretty well booked up for this year, so he wasn't going to be able to be at the show or help out any way there, but he said he would sponsor us with some swag. So that's what's in this big box. I haven't opened this yet. I don't know what all he sent. I probably won't just unbox the whole thing, but we'll get a good look at what we got in here. This will be stuff that we'll be giving away at the Tailgate Throwdown. So maybe a little incentive for somebody to show up. Another thing I'd like to point out, we need spectators. If you don't have a truck, if you're not going to be able to bring your truck down there, it's going to be, I forgot to say where it was. It's in Newport, Arkansas, at the Newport Raceway. What I heard, it's a pretty cool track. It's an old airstrip, but they do have the lights. It's a legit thing, and I think the weekend before ours, old Limpy is going to be down there with one of his big shows, so it ought to be interesting. Now this tube is something that Sean sent. He said it's just for me, to keep for myself. And we can kind of guess this is a banner. Oh, and a sticker. This is Sean's truck. I can't remember what he calls it. It's not on there. But he has just recently, he actually put I think a Turbo LS in it. This is a really nice truck. Got a nice patina to it. I know exactly where I'm going to put this, right here underneath Andy Welch's white truck. We'll go over that later. Here's the banner. It's the banner from last year. I couldn't make it to their show last year, but he went ahead and sent me a banner. I'm gonna just pretend that I went. All right, let's see what we got in the box. Oh, wow, I wasn't expecting all this. We've got a whole bunch of flyers for, that's going to be the Classic Truck National Show. Some tumblers, some hats, shirts. Looks like there's some hoodies down in there. I need to get some, make some Squarebody Stuff tumblers, I guess. All right, cool. We appreciate this, Sean. Hopefully we can get this out there and pass it out to people, and people enjoy it, and people make it to your show. We appreciate everybody's help on our first show we're trying to put together, the tailgate throwdown. Hopefully it'll be a big success and we can do several on down the road. And one last thing before we get into the science, go check out my merchandise website. We've got hats, we've got some t-shirts, we've got stickers, might be adding in some license plates before too long, but go check that out, squarebodystufF.shop. All right, so what we've got here on the table is these pieces right here are what comes in the kit. It is just a kit I ordered from Summit Racing, of course made in Taiwan. There's the part number. I'm thinking it was around 55, 60 bucks, something like that. But it comes with what you see here. So these tubes are what you weld into your exhaust. These are a one-way check valve to only let air go to the exhaust and not back pressure into your crankcase. Of course, these are your breathers. And once you get it all set up, you hook a hose from this to this, and these tubes, you put them at a 45-degree angle, and it will create a Venturi effect or scavenging or siphoning effect to pull a vacuum on the hose and eventually pull a vacuum on your crankcase. Now the idea behind that is if you pull a vacuum on your crankcase, it'll help your rings seal better, help everything seal up better, and it's been known to make a little extra horsepower. How much horsepower? Who knows? It depends on the application, I guess, and how it's set up. Now typically they say you're not supposed to use this on an application with a full exhaust unless it's a really free-flowing exhaust, which Squeaky's 3-inch pipe with an open chambered muffler or an open muffler. It's pretty much just a perforated core glass pack that it doesn't have a whole lot of restrictions. So we're going to see if that affects anything. We're going to be doing some testing on that. I'm going to be doing some testing on how much vacuum this can potentially pull. That's where this guy comes in. And what we're going to do is I'm going to play around with some different ideas on the tubes or the pipes, and we'll put them in this little piece of pipe, put them on the end of the leaf blower, and simulate exhaust flow and see how much vacuum it'll pull. Now, as I said, you're supposed to weld these in, drill a hole, 7/8 hole, and they go in. It should be a 45-degree angle where this is flat, and the air going through will actually pull air out this and create a vacuum in your crankcase. Now I've seen some kits that have these tubes have a slot cut in them right here, almost looks like a whistle, but the idea behind that is that extra air moving through there will help draw even more air. So that's one of the things I'm going to test. These are just regular pipe threads, so I've got some nipples I had laying around, and we'll cut these up, try a little different variations, see what works the best, and we'll just use these pipes here. And I've got a vacuum gauge hooked up so we can see what kind of a vacuum it pulls. I've got them tacked in there, and they're roughly the same depth. Not sure if you can see down in that one with the little slot. So I'll get these set up. I'm gonna, instead of welding these solid, I'm just gonna use some putty or something like that, just some kids putty to seal that up. That way if we need to make any changes or play around with it, let me cut these right off real quick. And I'll set them up on the end of the tube, the same distance from this end, because this one's at a little bit of an angle, it's a little bit shorter, but I just want to make sure that this is the same distance from here to this end. Get that figured out, probably duct tape it on there or screw it on there or something. And now it's arts and crafts time. I'm gonna take some of this putty, put around here so he'll seal that off. It probably seals up just as good as any of my welds do, to be honest. Right, there's 6.5. See if we can tape this on, or that'd be better if we just put a zip screw in there just to hold it tight. Now let's seal it up with some duct tape. What do you think? Let's fire this thing up and see what we can do. All right, now to show you that my vacuum gauge does work, that's vacuum. So far, it's not pulling any vacuum. Actually, it's putting pressure, which don't make any sense because that's a one-way valve. I don't know. Let's check into this. Well, let's put the other one on there. All right, now this is the one with the little notch cut in it, just above the slot. Let's see what it does. I'm gonna get fired up and test it out. Tried to pull just a little bit of vacuum, but still about the same. Huh. Let's try it without the check valve. if this will go on there without the check valve. Which I'd like to add at this moment, I'm not trying to disprove if this works or not. This just may not be the right way to test it. I don't know. I'm just kind of playing around and having some fun and bring you guys along for the ride. Because I know this, these setups have been around for probably longer than I've been alive. So they have to work somehow. You would think. Alright, let's try this. No check valve. That was really no different. I mean, maybe tried to pull a little bit of vacuum, but you know, who knows? I don't know. Let's try something else. But I've got a hose down in my bucket of water. I'll hook the other end of the hose up to here once I get it started up. And maybe we'll see some mist come out of there. I don't know. Should do something. Alright, so I'm going to use a lighter next. See if it pulls anything. If I hold the flame up there and it draws it in, then we know it's drawing some air out. Pretty good. Let me see if I can get a better shot of that. Apparently I don't have any way of really testing exactly how much air that does move in or pull, but it does pull air. So the idea works. It just maybe not enough to pull any actual vacuum, or at least a measurable amount of vacuum. So, but it does pull air in. That does work. Maybe, I mean, I could put that other one in that's solid, because this is still the one that's got the notch in it. But there's no real definite way to know which one pulls more air with a lighter. That's the only thing I've found so far that really I can, you know, see that it's actually moving air through there. I just wish I had something like a number to go off of, but I don't. I just got a flame, and the flame moves, so it works. It does work. I know what I really need to make this work and actually have some sort of a number to this. It'd be some sort of a CFM meter or something to measure just airflow. Let me take the gauge off one of my argon bottles. I think it's like cubic feet per hour. I don't know. I just want some sort of a number, because my whole idea is I wanted to test this, see which one of those nozzles worked the best, and then put it on the truck, and actually put it in 2 different spots on the truck. Because in the instructions it says to put it right after the collector, where the 4 pipes merge into one, right in the first part of the collector. And in my brain, whatever that's worth, there's still enough pulses between each individual cylinder flowing through the header pipes. Now at higher RPMs, there's probably enough steady flow. But if I'm going to try to run this on the street, or run it with an exhaust on or whatever, it needs more steady flow, which needs to be moved further downstream. So what I was going to do is I was actually going to mock up a pipe on the collector, mock up a pipe on the exhaust pipe, wherever I thought might work the best, and then use the gauge to see which one actually worked the best. Run the engine at a certain RPM, take a reading off the gauge, see which one worked the best. But unless I can get some sort of reading, I'm not going to be able to do that scientific. This may just be another bust. You know, my whole deal on my transmission here a few weeks ago, I've done some testing on it and it didn't work out so good. But you know, this is fun. This is I think this is what everybody needs to be getting out in the shop and doing, just playing around with stuff. So let me see if maybe this gauge will measure the CFM, or measure some sort of a measurable amount of flow with this setup. No, it don't flow enough. It's just cubic feet per hour. It's gonna have to flow quite a bit. Now you can't see it with the camera. I could barely see that ball just starting to unseat down in there, but there's no way, it's not moving enough to have a good actual measurement. So okay, so let's see where we're at now. Is it actually, it does move air, it does pull air, it does draw air. I don't have any way to measure how much air. I'm not gonna buy anything special for this science experiment. Maybe we could revisit this. Maybe I could look on the interwebs, or maybe one of you guys might have a suggestion on some sort of a measuring device to measure this amount of airflow. It's not going to be much, and it will scavenge anything out of the crankcase. Yeah, I don't know. This video didn't go exactly the way I wanted it to. But that's the way science goes. Sometimes science don't always actually goes the way you want it to. So I'm not really sure where to go from here. Let me think about this for a minute, and I'll be back with you. So after consulting the captain and the Googles, I've decided we're going to continue this project. I found some deals which I knew there's something existed, because we use them at work to monitor airflow or flow of certain gases, certain things. And also in the medical field, they use them for monitoring the airflow or the flow of like oxygen, stuff like that. I just got to find a cheap one. I'm not going to spend a bunch of money on it. But I have found some things on the Amazons that that measure in liters per minute, which I'm not really worried about what kind of measurement. I just want something that I could get a measurement off of. It doesn't matter if it's liters, cubic feet, whatever. I just want a number so we can kind of figure this out, because the way my brain works is I don't want to install this. I don't want to do this. I know it works. I know it works. People have been using these for years, but I want to make it the best it can be. And now that I've gotten on this kick of trying to measure stuff and this didn't work out, I'm not gonna give up till we figure something out a little bit better. So yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. Actually, I've thought about one more little thing we could do just to see how much airflow it might have through the engine. If you're interested in seeing that, stick around. I'll set it up. Here's my bright idea. I've got it hooked up to the breather, and I'll start it up. I'll wind it up. Hopefully I don't blow a bunch of stuff away. And I'll put the lighter right here on this tube. See if it draws any in. Just to see what it does. Because science. So we'll revisit this little science project at a later date. I'll get something ordered. We'll figure something out. But until then, y'all keep your square bodies rolling. We'll catch you later.